Alright guys, today I'm going to be showcasing the blue loadout that I think you guys should be buying in CS2. It's a no-nonsense guide. There's going to be a bit of bias in there, but let me show you what I've cooked up. Now, straight off the bat, you're going to be telling me that there's cheaper blue gloves you can go for, but if I had to pick a blue loadout that's a reasonable overall cost, I think amphibious gloves are the best gloves to go for, and I think pairing them with a Phase 3 knife, just look how beautiful that is as a pairing. The Phase 3 Doppler, honestly, slept on. One of the best knife finishes in the game. The gloves in field tester are $780. The knife in factory new is $875, which it's going to be an expensive start, but you get a combination, which I'm going to just go straight to the USP. The Monster mashup here, $43 for minimal wear. Just to showcase the gloves. The gloves look super clean when you get them in field test it. Yeah, the tops are going to have these scuffs on them. That's unavoidable. But when it comes to like holding guns in idle, I'll even get an AK out so you can see. The palms mostly look good. The thumb wear is good. And just the options for the knife, fantastic. Today's video is sponsored by MyHUD, the fastest way to set up a professional, fully custom Counter-Strike 2 HUD for your stream or broadcast. In just 1 minute, you can have it live on your server, no digging through game files, no complicated configs. Switch seamlessly between a clean horizontal layout or a space-saving vertical one. Customize team colors, backgrounds, and match info to fit your brand, or choose from ready-to-go presets. It's built for every event type, from casual watch-alongs to pro tournament coverage, with features like sponsor display management, match configuration, and an advanced minimap for full player tracking. Check out MyHUD using the links down below and take your broadcast to the next level. Now, as we go to the Glock, Ocean Topo works really well, both in regards to theme. You got Ocean, you got Amphibious, but also the blue of the Ocean Topo with the secondary and maybe even the tertiary blues off the gloves works really well. Then Cobalt Disruption for the Desert Eagle, another one that works really well with the colors of gloves, and this is why I think this option for glove is just the right path, because it allows you to get so many good weapon skins in, like the AK Inheritance. Now, I priced it minimal wear, which is $115. I do want to note that you can go down the battle scar and this still looks good, but I think with the amphibious, you probably want to be in that field test it to minimal wear range. It looks absolutely top notch. Like, this is screaming S tier combo. Now, the Emperor 1S is an interesting one, because yes, the blue phosphor exists, and yes, the Icarus Fill exists, but if we're being reasonable on the spending, a Nightmare for $22 minimal wear is just flat out the best option you can go for, and that's my suggestion here. And I'll very briefly detail that you could use a Hyper Beast, because that color of blue all along the top of it works really well. But you're going to be going over double here, $55 minimal wear. This is what I ran when I had Amphibious, and I enjoyed it, but Nightmare is my overall suggestion to you guys. Then when you get to the Emperor A4, obvious choice. You're going to pick the Emperor, $46 here for an S tier Emperor A4. Arguably the best artwork Emperor A4 there is in the game as well, which is amazing to get. A slightly question mark around the op, I am going to be suggesting the Aetherius. It's $6.40 for minimal wear, and my reasoning for this is overall the blue options for reasonable priced ops is very limited. So a blue base skin that has green, which I don't know, when you're going between like this knife and glove combo into the op, I feel like overall it just fits quite nicely. Then on the MP9, we're going to be going for the Cobalt Paisley. Now, the prices for this across marketplaces is still settling a little bit. I found one consistently for $3.88 or above, so that's the price I've ran with for it here. If you don't like this artwork, you could go for a buff blue. Very cheap, very nice alternative. And it's just worth mentioning, that's another area already where I could have gone for a Pandora's box, but I'm trying to keep the spending overall reasonable. Which is why on the Mac 10, we're going to go for the Pipsqueak. Now, I kind of say that as if there was an expensive option I was going to go for. There's a handful of cheap blue Mac 10s you can go for. I thought this one was the best artwork-wise, so just having that, even though the colors are slightly off, for $1.10, it makes sense. And in the Sky, I'm just going to go nice and easy on the Abyss. This is minimal wear, 62 cent, which pairs pretty nicely with the color of the gloves. And yes, it is also pattern based, so you can try and align the blue if you want to. And maybe in a surprise pick, I have a factory new Rocket Pop as my Gale pick. It's $7.40 for this. One of my first ever CS skins I ever got when I started playing over 10 years ago. I think this is great, and what I like about it is the tone of blue, like the darker one, it lines up really nicely with the gloves. And just to note, if you wanted to save a little bit of money and go for something different if the Rocket Pop's not your cup of tea, Stone Cold exists for $4.15 in minimal wear. And then some of the recent updates brought us great options when it comes to famous skins. You got $4.20 for a Yeti Camel here. I think this is 100% the right play, because it's got like 2 to 3 different shades of blue on it, and it's got the white, and we got white on the gloves as well, with multiple shades of blue. Like, it just works so well. Now, those with bigger wallets may be looking, being like, damn, I want the Undertow P250, but for more reasonable suggestions, the Valence for 25 cent in minimal wear it just works. I sound like an Apple employee or an Apple fanboy, but it does just work. In like 5.7, for example, the introduction of the sky blue means we suddenly get a very clean but very cheap skin. This in fact unit is 65 cents. I gotta say, I was using a Hyper Beast 5.7 with mine, which I loved, but this for 65 cents is kind of hard to argue against. Now, back-to-back videos are running back with a Tech 9 Avalanche. This is $3.10 minimal wear. I do have to note here, these shades of blue are just different, and that's something you're going to have to deal with. They're closer to like the secondary color on the tops of the gloves, but even still, I think like overall, it's still a blue skin, it's still a blue pair of gloves. If that's what you're after, this is the best option. Like, I absolutely loved using the Hydro Strike dualies when I had these gloves, because obviously again, it's anything that's water themed and blue with these gloves just makes absolute sense, both on color pairing and on like theme pairing. Like, it's just a win-win. The fact these are $1.55 now in minimal wear, 2 shades of blue, orange is a good accent color for blue as well. Just top jewel Berettas to have. And as you'll have noticed from the red video, which will be linked down below if you missed it, we're not covering every single weapon in the loadout, only those that I think you're actually going to be using in a game, which is where I now get to suggest an XM Solitude for the first time. Now, in the minimal wear, these prices start lower than what this one is, but this is pattern 195, and it has heavy blue and white clouds through it, plus then a nice bit of blue in the barrel. So it's $4.70. There are other blue alternative XMs, but I wanted to finally get to suggest the Solitude because I think it's actually a great piece of artwork and a great sort of like approach to skins that hopefully we see more of. Just find a pattern that works for you and you're absolutely cooking. But there we go. That's the weapon skins. Now, I do have a note for agents. And this is going to make me look biased because they're currently the agents that I use, which is becoming a regular theme. But I've gone for Rex Crikey as the CT agent. Now, obviously, you wouldn't be using an AK, but currently, he's the only one that's sleeveless. If you were to use Ricksaw, who I used to suggest, you would currently see a sleeve coming through, which would clash with the skin. So that's why I think if you want an agent, you have to go for Crikey. And then the agent that you would have seen for the full video was my own Sir Bloody Silent Darrell, which looks like this. His silver accents with the blue, I just think work really, really nicely. I actually changed to him as an agent when I picked up the amphibious gloves from one of the guys that had gold. And again, man, I don't know what it is, the blues of this knife are just so good. And I do just want to showcase an alternative T agent, just in case you're wondering and getting bored of seeing my ones. Number K for $59 plus would be an option, because the gloves are blue and white, these sleeves are whitey grey, and like the Inheritance, for example, overall, if this is your cup of tea, it does pair together pretty well. But when it comes to the total cost of this blue loadout, what are we talking? Well, if you went without the agents, it comes in just under the $2,000 mark, which for me, although prices would be going up, getting in under the 2K mark is still the sweet spot for getting a good knife and glove, getting S tier picks somewhere throughout, and just being able to theme quite nicely without crazy overspending. And if you did want to pick up the agents, if you went for Sir Bloody Silent Darrell and Lieutenant Rex Crikey, that would jump you to $2,062. Obviously, Number K Professionals was about another $15 on top, so you can do the math there. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed a bit more of a sort of no-nonsense, straight-to-the-point guide of buying a loadout, and I'm going to be doing this every single week while we work through all the color themes that I have in mind. If there's anything you want to see color theme wise, leave a comment down below and it might help it jump up the queue a little bit and I'll get it sorted. Outside of that one, I want to say a big thank you to the YouTube members that continue to support the channel. They do get content early, by the way. Someone was asking this in the comments. Yes, YouTube members do get content early. That's why you'll find them commenting on it before it actually is deemed live. So there you go. Big thank you to you guys, and if you want to become a member, all the info's down below when you hit that join button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.